Namaste. Can you do the namaskar? So we were talking about the Tillana, and it was a very, Radhika, you had a question which I didn't take last class.
That now, as you said, the musicians are creating the Tillana. So, does that happen that music overpowers the dancer sometimes, or the dance which is being choreographed?
It certainly does, because the whole intention of a Tillana, because two main composers which are danced a lot today are Balamurali Krishna ji and Lalgudi ji, Jayaraman sir. Both very, very talented musicians in their own right, of course, but they didn't write these for dance. They wrote it either to be sung or to be played on the violin. So when you adapt it to dance, there obviously have to be structural changes made, or you should also be a little careful while choosing a Tillana, because I feel if it's, as I always feel, if it's too much of Vishayam in the Tillana as it is, then you can't really explore very much. You can only do it as it is at best. And when this is repeated many times, you know, it has to have something which the dancer can really kind of bring in her karigari, so to speak, you know, her input. If everything is done by the musician, then there is the tendency where the music will overpower the dance. So one has to be careful in what one chooses for dance delineation. You might listen to a lot of Tillanas which are very beautiful, but not necessarily lending themselves to dance, you know. So that distinction of what is danceable and what is not, I think the dancer has to have the understanding to choose Tillanas which are which lend themselves to dance.
We need to be thorough with the knowledge of music as well.
Certainly, because many times you do get tempted to take a Tillana because of its musicality, you know. And there was that Mand Tillana, I don't know if they remember it now, which is again very beautiful Tillana, but very difficult to dance, because the latter portion of the Tillana is so challenging in terms of, it's very nice to play on the violin, but very difficult to dance to. So though it sounded beautiful, very difficult to dance. So I feel we must choose things which showcase us you know, nicely. So one of the Tillanas, two Tillanas in fact, which we've been taking, one is Balamurali sir's Tillana and one is Lalgudi sir's Tillana. Balamurali sir's is the Vrindavani Tillana, which I feel lends itself to dance very well. Deem tanana dillana dillana nadridim 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 tanana dillana dillana nadridim 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 nadridim. So not too much of it has that freedom of the dancer to really work out whatever she wants to work out in the Tillana. Corways don't kind of clash, you know. The other Tillana, which Lalgudi sir's beautiful Tillana, Bageshwari, it's also, I think, is very reposeful. Has it really is the old mode Tillana, I would say, but yet has that Bageshwari being a completely different kind of a raga, lends itself again to dance very nicely. That goes this way. Dim tadaratani dhirana dridradana chanut dim janudadim janudadim tadaratani dheerana dridridanana janudadim 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 tadaratani. Bageshwari being such a beautiful raga, that it was an instant choice ki this has to be done. So the corvees also which we did were again keeping in mind the musical frame, and one particular corvée which we did is a nice example of chatusram is used in medium slow, medium fast space, and then the ending of that was rather complex, where we came up with one interesting format how a corvée is made, and maybe we should even think in terms of writing it down and sharing it. So first is the first speed, second speed, third speed, where ta ka de me, ta ka de me, ta, only one slow, ta ka de me, then ta ka de me, ta ka de me, ta ka de me, ta ka de me. Wait, when you dance it you will get it. 1 minute. Ta ka de me, 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 taka dimmi, taka dimmi, taka dimmi, taka dimmi, ta ka de me, ta ka de me, ta ka de me, ra ka dimmi, taka dimmi, taka dimmi, taka dimmi, taka dimmi, taka dimmi, taka dimmi, diditai, 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 takkita, diditai, 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 ta. So we'll do it section by section. First is the chatusram, tisram. So you have chatusram slow speed, then you have tisram twice, then you have medium speed, second speed thrice, and you have third speed 4 times. So it will become 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the, and it comes 1.5 avartanams, one round. You repeat it and it becomes full 3 avartanams. So let's see how we can work this out. Say it once more. Ta ka de me, ta ka de me,
ta ka de me,
ta ka
dim me, ta ka dim me, ta ka dim me, ta ka dim me, ta ka dim me, ta ka dim me, ta ka dim me, ta ka de me, ta ka de me, ta ka de me, ta ka dim 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 me.
Now you have to see whether this sits on the music. So you keep saying it, I am going to sing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dim tadaratani dheerana dridritanana janutadim 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 tadaratani dheerana dridritanana janutadim 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 tadaratani dheerana dridritanana janutadim 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 tadaratani dheerana dridritanana janutadim januta-dim, januta-dim, tadaratanim, dheerana, dridridhanana, januta-dim, januta-dim, januta-dim. So you see how the counter rhythms, when you say it, how it works out. Let's try and see the choreography for this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So first is the slow. Ka, de, turning and sitting thana. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Dim tadaratani, dheerana, dridritanana, januta-dim, 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 tadaratani, dheerana, dridritanana, januta-dim, januta-dim, januta. See, so you can see how it didn't clash at all. In fact, when you said it clashed a little, but when you did, it didn't clash even anywhere. Even the Tisram was very pat on. After this, the chorway goes dititai, dititai with gaps 4 times. Then takka, takkita, takka, takkita, dititai, 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 dititai. 5 dititais. So, since it's 4, the directions can be explored. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dititai, 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 dititai. Takka, takkip jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Takka, takkita, takka, takkita, takka, dimmi, takka, dimmi, takka. 6 nahi hai, 5. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Finish on the right. So, this is the connection with that. So, you finish that avartanam here. Dititai, 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 dititai. Takka, takkita, takka, takkita, dititai, 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 dititai. So, this comes exactly in the frame of the music. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dim tadaratani, dheerana, dridritanana, januta-dim, januta-dim, januta. Correct? Now the last part. It's an interesting 5 ta, ding, gi, na, tom and tai, 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 diti, tai. This is the basic inputs into the. You can take out your books because this is important to write. So, come here Sneha. So, write ta, di, gi, na, tum. Tai, 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 diti, tai. So, what happens is ta, ga, ga, 3, 3, 3, 3,
and
ta, ga, ga, di, gi, gi, ki, gi, gi, na, ga, ga, tom, go, go. Tai, 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 diti, tai. Okay, so it's basically 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 and tai 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 diti tai. There is a takka gap at the end of it. Now this becomes 2, rest remain 3.
Ta becomes 2.
Rest become all 3. So
Raga.
taga di gi gi ki gi gi na nga nga tong ngong. Then tai 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 diti tai takka.
So gap after tai tai.
Tai diti tai takka. Here there was no gap at all. Here now after 2 tai 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 diti tai. Tai 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 diti tai. Now tai 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 diti tai. Next is taga di ki gi gi na nga nga tong ngong. So 2 2 3 3 3.
Oh, 2 2.
2 2 3 3 3. Are you getting it? First is ta ga ga di gi gi ki gi gi na ga ga tong gong gong tai 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 diti tai takka gap. Then ta ga di gi gi ki gi gi na ga ga tong gong gong tai 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 diti tai takka. Have you written that? Then ta ga di gi ki gi gi na ga ga tong gong gong tai 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 diti tai. Now there is a gap after tai and second tai also. So it's an interesting way of calculating and putting the whole thing into a korvai. So it becomes, now can we say it in a talam? Ta ga ga di gi gi ki gi gi na ga ga tong gong gong tai 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 diti tai takka. Ta ga di gi gi ki gi gi na ga
Tong gong gong tai tai.
tai diti tai takka. Ta ga di gi ki gi gi na ga ga tong gong gong tai 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 diti tai ta.
So tai 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 diti
Takka takkita. Second is ta.
kita tak kita.
Second is tai
Tai tai
tai tai tai diti tai takkita takkita. Second takka dimmi rakkita.
5. So you're increasing in the latter half and you're decreasing in the first half.
And there is a takka gap.
And a takka.
So once more say it. 1 2 3 4.
Ta ga ga di gi ki gi na ga tong gong tai 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 diti tai takka. Ta ga di gi ki gi na ga tong gong tai 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 diti tai takka. Ta ga di gi ki gi na ga tong gong tai 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 diti tai takka.
So now I'm going to sing.
And you have to say.
Yes. Dancer must say, otherwise there's no point. This is not a walkie-talkie doll. You press the button and suddenly start dancing. 1 2 3 4. Dim ta da ra ta nim di ra na dre dre ta na na janu ta dim janu ta dim janu ta dim ta da ra ta nim di ra na dre dre ta na na janu ta dim janu ta dim janu ta dim. तीन लोग मिलके it is not equal volume as me. Why? Can you speak up louder?
Yes.
1 2 3 4. Dim ta da ra ta ni di ra na dre dre ta na na janu ta dim janu ta dim janu ta dim ta da ra ta ni di ra na dre dre ta na na janu ta dim janu ta dim janu ta dim. Can you say the full chorus? 1 2 3 4. Ta ka di. See, dim ta da ra ta ni di ra na dre dre ta na na janu ta dim janu ta dim janu ta ta ka di, mi. Ta, ka, di, mi.
ta, ka, di, mi, ta, ka, di, mi, ta, ka, di, mi, ta, ka, di, mi,
Taka, dimmi.
taka, dimmi, taka,
Dimmi, taka, dimmi, ta. Ka, di, mi. Ta, ka, di, mi. Ta, ka, di, mi. Ta, ka, dimmi.
taka,
Dimmi.
taka, dimmi, taka, dimmi, taka, dimmi, taka, dimmi, taka, dimmi,
Dititai, 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 dititai. Takka, takkita, takka, takkita. Dititai, 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 dititai. Ta, di, ki, na, tum. Tai, 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 dititai, takka, taga, di, ki, na, tum. Tai, 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 dititai, takka, taga, di, ki, na, tum. Tai, 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 dititai, ta.
Akka, how do you know when to do double and single
Depend on the song.
on the song?
See, it's not a slow song, no? Dim ta da ra ta. Tillanas are normally ottakala chaukam only, no? Only varnams are rattakala chaukam.
So it's not necessary that one phrase of the song comes in.
Normally it does. Normally it does. So, but I wanted to count also, na, for you people. So, dim ta da ra ta ni di ra na dre dre ta na na janu ta dim janu ta dim janu ta dim ta da ra ta ni di ra na. This is fine. It also depends on the musician. Sometimes what happens is when she sings for dance, she likes to count double. Dim ta da ra ta ni di ra na, because so many people are there, so much patterns are there. So for her to keep time, it's easier to keep a double. So that's. So can we do this now? One of you can do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dim ta da ra ta ni di ra na dre dre ta na na janu ta dim janu ta dim janu ta dim ta da ra ta ni di ra na dre dre ta na na janu ta dim janu ta dim janu ta dim ta da ra ta ni di ra na dre dre ta na na janu ta dim janu ta dim janu ta dim ta da ra ta ni di ra na dre dre ta na na janu ta dim janu ta dim janu ta dim ta da ra ta ni di ra na dre dre ta na na janu ta dim janu ta dim janu ta dim ta da ra ta ni di ra na dre dre ta na na janu ta dim janu ta dim janu ta dim ta da ra ta ni di ra na dre dre ta na na janu ta dim janu ta dim janu ta dim ta da ra ta ni di ra na dre dre ta na na janu ta dim janu ta dim janu ta dim. So you see how the entire structure it works, and it becomes a solid chordway. It's a long nice chordway which you can kind of use as and when you want. Any questions on this?
I have one question. This is a spaced out chorus. If suppose the Tillana was a fast paced Tillana, can you superimpose a korve which is spread out on a Tillana that's phrases?
We make korve specifically for Tillanas. You can't kind of cut paste. Cut paste job you can instantly make out. You know, this particular Tillana, this korve will work. It might not work for any Tillana that you just. Many people do that. Five korves are there, just the song changes, and the same korves keep But we've never done that. We've done specific korves for specific Tillanas and held it for only that Tillana.
Also, are Tillanas mostly just in Adi Talam?
No, we've recently done one in Yamuna Kalyani, which is Mishra Chapu. So
usually you see mostly Tillanas being done
because there's a facility in the Adi Talam and Rupaka Talam also. Rupaka Talam also there are Tillanas. It's not as though just Adi Talam alone. Yeah, in the end you don't want to kind of, you want a certain lilt to be there towards the end, not make it too katapata. So Mishra Chapu was very difficult to do because Tillana itself was very complex, and then to make the korves on it and counter rhythms, it's little demanding. So it's normally but there's no convention like that at all. There's a Khanda Chapu Tillanas are there. In Kacheris, lot of Tillanas are sung which are even in Tisra Gati Tillanas are there. Shankaraparan Tillana, which is a very famous Tillana. So it's not as though it's bound by any tala. It can be in any tala. Radhika, you were asking a question.
These days, as we talked about the Tillanas being very fast paced. So I've come across some performances where a Tillana like Kafi Tillana, not Kafi exactly, but a Tillana which is very slow, and so the musician also does a lot of variations in terms of singing, and simultaneously the korves which are being done on that are also complex. So sometimes it doesn't match, sometimes it matches. So as an audience, when I don't see a connect. So what to which should we give the importance to?
See, I think there's no problem in the musician creating variations, but it should be done when the dancer is going back or when she's doing a mayadavu, slower. When she is doing a complicated thing, ideally the musician should sing to the sing the as or the basic structure of the Tillana. That's how I think the traditionalists did it. They would never allow the musician to do very complicated sangadis when the dancer is doing something complicated. So that's why the rehearsal, otherwise why rehearse at all, the musicians? They must know what the dancer is doing and where is it that the complex things are coming in, where is it going a little simple. So that's why the rehearsal is there to have that understanding and not to compete. The idea is not to compete. Once you start competing, then I think it's not a teamwork that is happening. So it has to be spaces where you give the musician that it's not as though you want to curtail their creativity or anything like that. Many of them are beautiful musicians and you want to hear them also. But there is a space and time in dance when you are accompanying the dance. Ultimately, you are also accompanying the dance. So the dance cannot be in any way kind of jeopardized or disturbed. So when the korve is going on, you should give the basic. Like you see in Kathak, when they are doing complicated, the lehra just goes. Lehra में थोड़ी आप फिर उसमें कारीगरी नहीं दिखा सकते हैं, छोड़ के निकालना, दूर निकालना, वो सब नहीं हो पाता ना. लहरा में the same lehra goes and you create patterns complicated.
Basically, it's just giving time.
It's just giving time. So the same holds even in the Tillana. When you are doing Raga, you can't do you can't go like that. It will disturb both everybody involved. So you have to have, when you are doing something complicated, the musician has to recede and stay with the basic frame of the Tillana. Any other questions on this?
Okay, the format of Tillana, basically all the counter rhythm exercises happen in the first half, and once you reach the Anupallavi part, then you usually go with the music. Is that a usual trend, or
No,
you can also create patterns in the second half?
You can, if the music is simple, that's the other thing. Today the music is so complicated that the music itself has so much rhythm in it that there is no need to compete with that and put further complicated things. So, like in this, as I was telling you, the Yamuna Kalyani Tillana. Tadim dana tadim jam jam janu tadim jam jam janu tadim jam tanam taton tadim dana tadim jam jam janu tadim jam jam dana tadim jam tanam taton. You know, this itself is so complicated and there's so much, so wordy that there's nothing very much more that you can, push in. Even in the Bageshwari, it's already the melody and the Tirmanam is already there. So you really can't do very much over that. So it's better to stick to. Ideal would be the example of the Hindolam Tillana, which is so beautiful in the end. It just beautifully sits like a proper. Dim ta dim 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 ta divana Tillana da jam jam da na divana nadrigita tum tarikita tum tarikita tum tarikita tum nadrigita tum tarikita tum nadri dum dani tatitalangu talangu takadiku tadikita tum tim tim takadiku tadikita tum tim tim takadiku tadikita tum tim. Simple, straight, not too much of here there. So takadiku tadikita tum tim tim takadiku tadikita tum tim tim takadiku tim tim is giving you the choreography almost. So you don't have to do too much of a research, just clean dancing, neat lines, and it makes an impact. Music is so in tandem with the dance. So that is what the Tillana is. Can I do a namaskar?